Hello everyone. First of all, before I record, happy Valentine's Day. Um, yeah, it's Valentine's Day, so if you have a Valentine, then good job. Anyways, it's video time of yeah. In the last video, we saw a few things happen. First of all, if we go down to this previously German colony, I think it was German. Yeah, German. You can see that all of their anarchist territory, all of their territory has been taken over by anarchist groups. Second thing that happened was we saw Switzerland and France unite, and no, Franco-Iberia unite. And as you can see, I haven't updated the country ball layer in a while. What else happened? Scotland changed their colour just because I want to try and make it a bit closer to their actual colour. Third thing, Australia Unificaria, I think I called it, formed. Fourth of all, Canada and this, brown country, I think they united. What else happened? Oh yeah, Vietnam bought Malaysia off of Indonesia. A war happened between, I think this was a light blue, there's this coloured country and this this lavender coloured country. So there was a war there, and the probably most important thing, all alliances got federalized. We can see that we have the federalized military alliances, the federalized economy alliances, and the federalized union alliance over here. So yeah, if you like this, then yeah. And let's just get on with it, because we're going to be heading down to, I didn't actually think this through. So how about we head up over to the British Isles? Because we're going to be seeing something. I'd say it's been roughly 30-ish years since World War II. I don't really know. All I know is we have nuclear bombs now. We have a Unificaria. We have a few things. So let's just say that let's say it's 1950. So the Treaty of over here is probably going to be expired, which means they can start some wars. And the English begin pushing into Cornwall, and I should probably actually have provinces and cities on, shouldn't I? The English start marching into Cornwall and do surprisingly well. But they get stopped at this province, and that's because another country joined in the war, and that country is Wales. Because Wales doesn't want to be under England. They've been thriving. Hell, let me show you what their economy has been like since episode 27. It's been like this, and then it slowly stagnated just before World War II. Then it went very far down in World War II, and then it slowly started rising. And then at episode 35, it just skyrocketed. But they're still not in the top 10. That's not them. Well, they are doing pretty good. So, fearing that they are going to be invaded next, they are going to be invading into England. And the bad thing about England, their capital's very close. So England takes a majority of their forces out of Cornwall, which we can see by them losing a majority of their occupational land. And instead we will see an invasion into Wales, completely ignoring the current invasion and just trying to take as much of the coast as possible. And they're doing very well with that, because if you look here, the capital's on the coast. But a bit down here, where they didn't stop pushing, even if they were about to lose their capital. Up here, it's going to be the same, but it's not going to lead into a humanitarian crisis. Instead, it's just going to be we want our independence, and we will cement that in any way possible. So they begin pushing up, and they managed to take quite a few cities. And somehow, they managed to cross over into this city too. And then near enough at the North Sea. I think this is like this area is the North Sea. If not, then my bad. So they're doing very well. And they actually managed to reach it, cutting England in half. Now England's like, whoa, what the hell? We did not want this to happen. So they like rush all of their forces out of Wales. And these stay as defensive forces as well as these. And they start slowly pushing into Welsh occupational lands. They manage to cut them off from the North Sea. And they get pushed back to this major city over here. Which I don't completely know if it's fully under Welsh forces, so how about I just... Okay, now it's definitely under it, because I used the pencil brush. Or pencil thing. Anyways, something surprising is going to be happening, and it's going to be incredible. Go away, Gmod notification. And it is going to be very, very surprising. And you might be wondering, what is it? Well, England's been allies with someone for a very long time, and they may or may not just be about to join the war. And as we see Wales manage to fully push out all the English troops, and then continue marching back in, because these guys are very, like, tired of war. We see Scotland joining on the war. I'm going to make that a bit lighter. We see Scotland joining on the war. And you might have just noticed me accidentally colour it in this instead of pink. Well, that's my bad, and that was the accident. But England's starting to just get overrun. A quick war in which they thought they'd easily be able to win has very quickly turned into their downfall. Because we see these guys begin invading, which is the exact opposite of what they wanted. Eventually, they lose a majority of their southern coast, and held a majority of their coast in general. And the Welsh are very close to their city. In fact, they besieged the city, taking a small part of it. As you can see, if I turn off the capital layer, they are like very, very close to the very center of the city. They just took the city. Oh my god. Yeah, one of the most untouchable cities in the world has just been taken by a pretty weak nation. And that just causes England to like fully collapse over to the invading forces. Scotland manages to occupy these lands. Cornwall occupies these lands. And the rest just like falls into like a rebellion. I don't really know what color to make it. So you know what? A green rebellion. Actually, no, that makes it look like it's funded by these guys. Teal. No, that looks too similar. You know, I don't know, like this color of a rebellion. Yeah, that looks good. So yeah, we're gonna be seeing the division of England in 3. Oh, hello! I did not mean to do that. In 3, 2, 1. Yeah, this is going to be a peace treaty with Scotland gaining these northern territories. Cornwall basically just gains all of the southern coast. Very long. Wales gains, if I can get the right colour, they gain these territories. And the rest is made into a new English nation. And they are going to be placing, I don't even need to make a new dot, I can just use this one. They're going to be putting their dot right here. Actually, no, they're going to be putting it where I believe modern-day London is. Despite living in London, I don't precisely know where London is. So that's pretty good, me being English. Although I do roughly know where Dublin is, I think. It's either the current city or this city down here. One of the two. Anyways. So that's the first thing that we saw. Well, wait, no, I don't even know why I said that. That's probably the most important event of this video. Done. Go away, notifications for Gmod. Sorry, I keep getting Gmod notifications. But we're going to be seeing the next event happen, surprisingly enough, in Asia. And why is that? Well, you see the Baikal nation. They're going to be uniting with someone. And that someone is actually going to be Siberia. And why is that? Let me make sure that didn't completely kill another nation. Okay, it didn't kill another nation, I don't think. But that's because these two have very friendly relations. And they're actually very similar. Because if we go on to, please be right, if we go on the religion layer, basically all of the Baikal nation is part of the Nation of Hope's religion. And then if we go on to the language layer, they aren't similar. Although and this one, like all the pink, like this, like lavender. I don't actually know what color this is. It's like a purple color, and it's like banana color. They are all nearly mutually intelligible. A bit like how apparently Norwegian, Swedish, and Danish are very similar. So yeah. So yeah, those two are going to be uniting. And now, if we go over to Madagascar, I don't actually know why I came over to Madagascar, but we're going to be rolling with it. Because generally I'm just making this up on the fly. We are going to be seeing a new nation pop out of nowhere. And that nation, if I can get the right color for it, that nation is going to be the light red nation. And I swear it's not a French invasion. So why are they gaining independence from here? I mean, giving these guys, why is Madagascar giving these guys independence? Well, they sort of have to fund these guys, and they're like, you know what, we don't want to. There's like no one living here. There's like at a max, like, we don't even know how many of you guys there are. There could be 1,000, 10,000, 100 billion. We don't know. We can't tell. So they just give these guys independence, and bang. Yeah. We now have, I believe, our first island nation. And I don't mean like the Philippines. I mean like one made of several islands. So yeah, that's pretty neat. Wait, could Caribbean? Yeah, let's say Caribbean doesn't count. So yeah, we are going to be seeing our next event. I know there's a lot of next events. Our next event is going to be happening, surprisingly enough, down here. And why is that? Well, if we go onto the Union Alliance, we're going to be seeing a Union Alliance take place. I forgot what is it? Is it 5 or 3? I know exactly how to count. 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah, it's 5. Ooh. So I'm just going to grab this color so that I don't have to come back over to here. Yeah, we're going to be seeing a Union Alliance take place between, if I can get the right thing, it's going to take place between you, and you. Bing, bap, boom. So yeah. And that's not the only one that's going to be made, and that's because if we go down here, we're going to be seeing another one get made, and that is going to be the Diamond Alliance, and it's going to be between you, sadly, or sadly for like the other members, sadly because they don't want to be a part of it. Also between you and you. Right now it's the biggest. Oh, right now it's the biggest one by far. So yeah. And there's going to be one more that gets made. That's going to be a pretty big one. If we go onto the economy layer, and we go onto the military layer, you're going to see that there's none over here. And that's because these guys mainly just like keep up with each other. And because of that, they're going to be forming the Triangle Alliance. Between these lots. Bing, bap, boom. So yeah. We now see 4 Union Alliances. So pretty neat. But now if we go over to the nuke layer, that's going to be very, very fun, isn't it? Because a few countries have now got more nukes. And those countries are going to be Frank Iberia, who's moved up to 16 nukes, exactly doubling. So I can just get rid of their old number and put the new one right by their capital. We see France nearly triple theirs, gaining 13 nukes. These two both bump up to 4. So yeah, that's pretty good. Greece, they just get 1 more. They gain 2. Mainly because like they don't really have like a strong nuclear arms program, and that's because like they like to be peaceful. And Rome has the largest jump of all, going from 3 to 12, literally quadrupling their nuke amount. And now I'm pretty sure that's still like really small compared to real life, because I believe the US has a couple thousand and Russia also has a couple thousand, I think. You know, I'm not fully sure, so I'm going to Google it. What country has the most nukes? As of early 2026, Russia possesses the largest total inventor of nuclear weapons in the world, with an estimated 5,459 to 5,500 plus warheads. So yeah, and the US has 5,177 to 277. So yeah, very small compared to real life, but screw it, we have nukes. But a few other nations are going to be gaining their nukes. And what countries are going to be those, you might be wondering? Well, the first one is going to be Norway, who's going to have 2 nukes. The next one is going to be Finland with 3 nukes. Also, I should probably have the nuclear alliances on, just so that I can know. The next one is going to be these guys, who are going to have 3 nukes as well. Next, Caucasia, who's going to have 5 nukes. Then it's going to be these guys, who have 6. And finally, down here, who's going to have 4 nukes. So yeah, a lot of countries are getting nukes. That's pretty good. But we could possibly see more. And now for one of the last events of this video, we are going to be seeing a few nations join in on the LS. Because we haven't seen that in a while. In a while, I mean like 2 or 3 episodes. So if I can just get the right shape, here it is. First of all, we're going to be seeing this country leave, because they aren't alive anymore. Next, we're going to be seeing you join, and I don't know why you don't have a completed star. Next, we are going to be going down here, so I can get rid of this. But then the real I really need to update this more. Oh god, I really need to update this more. Like seriously. Like there's so many areas that don't need these yeah, that don't need these. Oh my god. Although that one was forgivable. Not this one though. Okay, I think that's all of them. If not, I'm gonna probably cry. Anyways, the nations that are gonna be joining in on the LS are going to be down here. It's gonna be this dark purple country, who's gonna be joining right here. The next country joining is going to be in Africa, and it's going to be this country. Bam. The next country is going to be this country, who has a bleeding eye in the country ball layer, which is pretty neat in my opinion. I don't know why I keep doing Control D when I just do The next country that's going to be joining is going to be you, as well as you and no one else. And now, if I just get hold on. Okay, sorry. But now, if I just fill in this, you can see that there's only a few nations left who haven't joined. Those being Panama, Nicaragua, I think, I can't really tell. This Mexican nation, if we go over here, There's literally no one who hasn't joined. Going down here, the rebellious states, but we don't count those. Here, no one. Up here, no one. Except, what? No, these guys. Going over here, there's only a few nations left, being Russia, this nation, like this salmon-colored nation, so that's 2. The rebellious states, but we don't count those. This, I said this country, just because they don't really want to. And finally, this country, and these 2. So there's only 6 countries left who have not joined. And that's pretty big for the world. But now, something important is going to be going on, and that is going to be on the ideology layer, funnily enough. And you might be wondering, why did a reformist nation attack another reformist nation? In all honesty, thought it'd be funny. And again, in all honesty, I forgot that they were both reformist. Although there's nothing saying that 2 reformist ones got attacked. Anyways, the important thing is England's going to be deciding what their government type is going to be. Also, I need to get rid of these 2 circles. And we're also going to have to be deciding what these guys are, although considering both nations here were full democracies, I guess it can just be a full democracy. So, yeah. Anyways, we're going to have to be deciding what England is going to be. There's many possible candidates. They could be a full democracy. They could be a flawed democracy. They could be an oligarchy. They could be a monarchical democracy. They could be reformist. They could be Rosianic, although that's a bit far away. They could be fascist. They could be a dictatorship. They could possibly be a military dictatorship. It could be a theocracy. Basically what I'm saying is there's a lot. But they decide to not choose any of those, and they let the people pick. And they don't choose any of the ones that I currently picked. They don't choose a theocracy, I don't think I said that. Nor did they choose a senate. Surprisingly enough, the people choose communism. And that represents the first communist nation in Europe, which could possibly spiral into a lot of other nations being communist, such as Wales, Denmark, it could just spiral out of control. So the nations of Europe down here are going to have to be watchful of this. But that is actually going to conclude today's video, and if I can just turn off the cities layer, okay. That's going to conclude today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you didn't, then too bad, so sad. But yeah, if you liked it, then subscribe. If you didn't, then subscribe anyways. Anyways, I am going to go now, because it is Saturday and I'd like to relax. Wait, is it Saturday or Sunday? It's Saturday. Anyways, goodbye.